Thank you all for being here. I'm here to introduce our speaker. I'm sure you will recognize Elizabeth Hashagen as a well-known reporter from News 12. Elizabeth joined News 12 in 2000, working her way up from reporter to her current position as co-anchor on the morning show. In more than 2 decades, she has covered many important events, including Ground Zero in the days following 9/11. So please welcome Elizabeth.
For those of you who don't know me, my name is Elizabeth Hashagen. Over my time at News 12, I've had the honor of meeting so many incredible Long Islanders and getting the honor of telling their stories of how they're having a positive impact in our communities. And during one of those conversations, I was told that people can't care about what they don't know about. And that just resonated with me. It just made sense. I knew I put on sunscreen. I would often wear a hat. I like hats. And I thought it was probably a good thing that for most of my teenage years, I hated my freckles so much that wherever I went, I would find shade or put a t-shirt over my face because I did not want any more freckles, and I did not want the freckles I had to get any darker. So therefore, I was like immune. I was fine. I've been doing this my whole life. I don't want it. I'm okay. But as it turns out, I was not. During the pandemic, I cut back on going to the doctor, like a lot of people. I actually just didn't go. But I had a problem with something on my back and decided to get it checked out. And I guess that was pretty lucky for me because during that examination, we were booking a surgery, and I said, oh yeah, by the way, and I pulled down my mask and I pointed to a spot on my nose. This isn't going away. So we tried a bunch of different treatments and things, and I had zero idea at the time that I asked that question of, what is this, why isn't it going away, that the answer was going to be that it was cancer and that I was going to need surgeries. But I know that I'm lucky I asked, and I know I'm lucky I had that issue with my back because I never would have gone to the doctor and asked that question alone. I decided to make a video on social media just saying, if anything positive can come from this, I hope that you get checked. And the response was overwhelming. I got more than 10,000 comments on the post itself, but what I also got were a lot of direct messages from people I never met before. I realized that 6 people who decided to go get checked ended up with a cancer diagnosis. And they told me that the only reason they went was because they saw that video. All of us are on a mission right now to let people know where you are, what you're doing, what you learn while you're here, the conversations that you're having, the thing that you care about. Let someone know. And just let someone know that you care about this and you care about them, because you just might save someone's life. And how amazing would that feel? My dad is retired from Rescue 1 in the FDNY. Yeah. He's the coolest person that walks the planet, just so you know. But unfortunately, because he is a hero from the FDNY, it also means that his risk of getting melanoma is 30 to 60% higher than non-firefighters. So I've been so happy to hear all of the work that Mollie's Fund is doing to make a difference for our firefighters and our first responders. So knowing that May is National Skin Cancer and Melanoma Awareness Month, I just hope that you take this time as an opportunity to make the post, to take the picture, to have the conversation that could possibly, hopefully, save someone's life. Thank you.
I'm happy to introduce Dr. Kavita Mariwala tonight. Currently, Dr. Mariwala heads her dermatology practice in West Islip. Mollie's Fund has enjoyed a long relationship with Kavita. Many of you may have remembered her from the lacrosse tournaments when she was busy doing skin checks for us. So unfortunately, she couldn't be here tonight, which she'll explain in the video, but we wanted to share her really heartfelt remarks. Thank you.
Good Good evening. My name is Dr. Kavita Marawala. I'm a board-certified dermatologist and board-certified Mohs micrographic surgeon. I want to tell you a story tonight about a young man, an avid soccer player, who noticed a bruise on his big toe. Happens all the time, right? I mean, if you're an athlete, especially a runner, those big toenails, well, they definitely take a hit. So having a bruise under the nail didn't seem out of the ordinary. It only started to take notice when that bruise, it wouldn't grow out, and it kept getting bigger. How strange, right? Like, what kind of injury is that? Well, it turned out that bruise wasn't a bruise after all. It was a melanoma. And that young man, he died in May of 1981 at the age of 36. His name was Bob Marley. And you know his famous song, Redemption Song? It was written as he faced his own mortality from that melanoma. You see, melanoma, it doesn't discriminate. Yesterday, I was with the family of Brian Bonin. You may have heard of his story. He's local to Long Island. His melanoma started as a spot on the bottom of his foot that was thought to be a wart, except that it wasn't. He left behind a 5-year-old and a 3-year-old and a bonus daughter, which is what he affectionately called his stepdaughter. I mean, talk about a great guy. She's 18. He was the coach of Comac baseball and led that team to the first ever victory of the Long Island Championships in the history of the school. Think about that. A young man in his prime, super healthy. His loss not only devastated his parents and his extended family, but an entire community of young people. And as I said, melanoma, see, it doesn't discriminate. And we know that because it also took away Mollie, a young, vibrant sister and daughter in the prime of her life. And when you know these stories, the question is, what is there to say? That's the thing, isn't it? After the fact, what do you say to a parent or a family? I'm sorry? It doesn't carry enough weight. I can't believe it? Well, yeah, that's an understatement. And it turns out the words, they don't really exist. But you know what does? Action. So that's why we're here tonight. Because there are no words to describe the painful loss of losing a family member to this kind of cancer. But I hope that feeling, that lump in your throat when you hear these stories prompts you to act. It did for me. In fact, I'm coming to you via video because when Maggie and Jack asked me to speak tonight, without even thinking, I was like, yep, absolutely, I will be there. Kind of forgot about checking my schedule and life's little details that I had to be in Georgia, but more about that in a second. But the reality is, who says no to the big gains? I never do. It's always what, where, when, how much, when can I help you? Because their action is infectious. What the Begains probably don't realize is that through Mollie's Fund, they touch not only the public through skin cancer screenings and their public service announcements, but they also touch nurses and they touch doctors. I'm one of those people. I first heard about Mollie's Fund when I was in the back of a taxi. Remember those things that we took before Uber and Lyft? Well, I was in New York City and an ad came up on the taxi TV screen. At the time, I was a faculty member and head of cutaneous oncology at St. Luke's Roosevelt Hospital in Manhattan. But over the years, my family expanded and we moved out to the country, Long Island, as the Manhattanites call it. And I set up my own practice. And that's when I had a choice I had to make. I could continue to offer skin cancer surgery as a Mohs surgeon, or I could go into full-time skin cancer detection as a general dermatologist. Most people do one or the other. Hardly anyone does both. Why? Why did I choose to keep doing both, work all the time? Because of Mollie's Fund. See, through the years, I continued working with them. Whether we were on the lacrosse fields or teaching nursing students, they showed me that it was equally important to talk to people about protection and detection, but also accessibility. Mollie's Fund gets that. They get that you have to meet people where they are and to remind them why it's so important to get screened, because there is so much to stay healthy for. There's so much to be around for. By giving the people a chance to ask a dermatologist and meeting them there on those fields at those skin cancer screenings, Mollie's Fund does what it does best. It focuses on people. It inspires action. The constant reminder over the years made sure I never gave up being a skin cancer surgeon. And the result? Well, that's why I'm not there with you tonight. I'm here in Georgia because I've been nominated to be the president of the American Society of Dermatologic Surgery, a 5,000 member strong group of oncologic surgeons and dermatologic surgeons. And me, I'm going to be the youngest president in its history. So you see, okay, let me not cry for a second because they do mean a lot to me. Okay. So you see, Mollie's Fund, they do more than just skin cancer screenings. They inspire people to act. Mollie's Fund is truly a testament to a family's love of a young girl lost in her prime from a devastating disease that started with a spot. So tonight, I hope you enjoy the festivities. You can tell how much Mollie's Fund means to me and how it's inspired me in my life. It's part of that whole branch, right? We're all part of this family tree. So tonight, I hope you honor Mollie and the Begains and all the amazing work they've done. 20 years, man, it's never looked this good. Thank you.